Trump suddenly stops travel entourage and steps away alone. Here's the incredible reason why. President Trump and his family have just returned to the White House from Bedminster, New Jersey, where they were for the past 17 days. This return comes after the White House went under extensive renovations in the West Wing after falling into disrepair. As President Trump and his family stepped off Marine One, Trump paused and walked off away alone, and the reason why is amazing. President Trump has had his work cut out for him in a country that is incredibly divided. No matter what he does, the left is ready to attack him and his policies by calling him a racist and bigot. Even when President Trump and his family had to leave the White House for extensive renovations, the mainstream media claimed that was not the truth. Now, the much-needed repairs have been completed and the first family was able to return to the People's House after 17 days. President Trump, Melania, and Barron all stepped off Marine One when the president spotted a family on the lawn. This was not just any family either. It was the family of Major Randall White, who has been piloting Marine One for 4 years. President Trump without a moment's hesitation called for the family to come see him, and you can tell they are big fans. Not only did President Trump stop and greet the military family, but he also took the time to take pictures with them as well. This is not the first time that President Trump has shown his admiration and respect to our military. In July of this year, President Trump approached Marine One after returning from his trip to Germany. As President Trump came closer to the helicopter, one of the Marines that stand guard at the door salutes the president when suddenly his cover, military lingo for hat, flies off. The Marine sticks to his training and does not move a muscle. That is when the President of the United States bends over and retrieves the Marine's cover and places it back on his head. Even when the wind knocked it off again, the most powerful man in the world yet again went to get the cover for the Marine. President Trump always demonstrates tremendous respect and kindness to our military families that truly is top-notch. Trump knows that these families sacrifice so much for our country's safety and deserve to be treated with the ultimate deference. However, that has not always been the case, considering former President Barack Obama's lack of consideration to our brave men and women. For instance, while President Trump shows the utmost respect for our military, Barack Obama seemed to care less. How about the time that Barack Obama made a Marine hold an umbrella over his head while giving a speech? Or, how about the time that Obama thought it was perfectly fine to salute a Marine with a latte in his hand? Then there was the time that instead of Obama attending the funeral of Major General Harold Green, he chose to play golf instead. Mind you, General Green was the highest-ranking officer to be killed in combat since the Vietnam War. And here are more examples of how Obama disrespected the military and our country. According to the Daily Caller, there are several examples of how Obama allowed social justice to creep into the armed forces. Handbook tells soldiers not to criticize pedophilia. A proposed U.S. Army handbook from 2012 ordered soldiers not to make any nasty comments about the Taliban or criticize the common practice of pedophilia in Afghanistan. The handbook also suggested that the West's failure to grasp culture in Afghanistan was partially responsible for the spate of insider attacks. In 2012 alone, insider attacks accounted for 63 deaths of members of the U.S. coalition. According to a draft of the document leaked to the Wall Street Journal, the document urges troops to stop advocating women's rights, or bring up any criticism of pedophilia, or anything related to Islam. Commands to ignore pedophilia in Afghanistan have by no means been limited to the 2012 draft handbook. Rather, the New York Times reported in 2015 that troops have been told repeatedly to ignore cases of pedophilia and extreme sexual assault, even on U.S. military bases. The Bible disrespects diversity. In December 2014, the Army punished Chaplain Joseph Lawarn for listing Bible verses as an optional resource in a suicide prevention training class. While his training was very well received, one soldier complained and contacted an outside organization to put pressure on the military. Army Colonel David Fivecoat, Lawarn's superior, condemned him for supposedly violating Army policy. 5 Code told him he was to stop mentioning the Bible because it disrespects diversity. DoD-approved training listed the Declaration of Independence as a document that perpetuates sexism. Again in April 2015, the Daily Caller broke the story that a Department of Defense-approved training course referred to the U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence and the Bible as historical influences that allow sexism to continue. This presentation was created by the Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute. The training states the Bible is full of quotes that could be interpreted as sexist. And of course, the Declaration of Independence only mentions men, and does not include the word women. Finally, after years of seeing such disrespect in the White House, we finally have a leader who loves our military again. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.